This is Ilya Morrison's job. He equips trainees with the capabilities and skills they need later in their professional life. To this end, he always has to assess how much his protégés have actually retained in their heads. Previously, classroom teaching with tests were the order of the day with him, but he couldn't evaluate his trainees very well, let alone prepare them adequately for professional life. Ilya recalls one of his former trainees who had to conduct a complaint discussion with a customer at work. That went thoroughly wrong. He simply couldn't find a suitable solution for the particular problem, nor could he calm the angry customer down or persuade him. In practice, there's a limit to how much skills alone can achieve. A whole lot more than a bundle of skills is needed. For example, methodological and social skills, such as problem-solving and conflict resolution in complaint handling, are needed as well as professional skills. Trainees must have the opportunity to develop knowledge, capabilities, and skills that enable them to cope with tasks in different situations. These days, it's clear to Ilya. Skills development is closely interlinked with work process and action-oriented vocational training. This also includes adequate tools to assess skills. Ilya therefore proceeds as follows. Firstly, he must define the skills for his learning and work task. For example, in addition to problem-solving and conflict resolution ability, he also defines the skill result-orientated action for the partial task conducting a complaint discussion. Ilya is careful not to define too many skills for a task so that the focus is not lost. In order for the whole to become more tangible and the individual skill to be assessed effectively, Ilya and his trainees describe the skill using very specific objectives. Ilya and Alexander come up with these goals for the skill conflict-solving ability. I have the ability to persuade and can overcome resistance and barriers by using convincing arguments. I can create trust and empathize with the customer. I come across with a confident manner. It's important both for Ilya and Alexander himself that he knows his competencies. One assessment method is a before and after questionnaire for both self and third-party assessment. Ilya and Alexander decide independently whether and to what extent Alexander is able to achieve the objectives. This assessment is done both before and after the learning and work task. Now they can compare the respective before and after assessments as well as the self and third-party assessments. They discuss where and why variations occur, which particular strengths or weaknesses have been identified, and what development is needed. The results can be used by Ilya to determine Alexander's future funding needs, to identify opportunities for improvement, and to close skill gaps. Isn't that something you could use? This is how you always have the skills development of your trainees in mind.